Hi, I'm Rex Johnston, currently bowls manager at Tuncurry Beach Bowling Club and chairman of the State Selection Committee. And looking forward to a year of great bowling and selecting. I think Bowls New South Wales is, since Tim's come on board, is sort of heading in the right direction. He's up and out and about with all the stakeholders. He's doing a great job. Must have been a very difficult job for him to start up after the two former CEOs, Greg and Anne, had to depart. So it was very difficult for him. I found that communications is a lot better in regard to trying to get things done. Tim offered his helps and assistance while we're waiting to get a new man on board to look after the committees and do their beck and call, I suppose, with accommodation and travel. So that'll be a positive when that happens. I'm pretty sure it will. They're all outside advertising for it at the moment. Jake Ritchie, his appointment of Jake Ritchie, I think is great. So we plebs, us poor people, will be able to get onto BowlsLink and have someone to speak to down there, a nominated person to get all that stuff through for us. I know as a bowls coordinator and the age that I am, it was difficult to sort of get your head around it, but once it starts up, it's easy as peasy. I was seconded onto the committee back in November 22, and I arrived and I was elected chairman, not intentionally to be elected chairman, but I was the one that put his hand up and I ended up with the position. The committee, our selectors committee, is a very inexperienced committee. There's only two from the former panel on the committee of 8. So we've got 6 new bloods we're trying to get up and about and seeing all the bowlers, and I think that's our biggest challenge. Thank God we did. I was able to liaise with Peter Hughes, who was former chairman of selectors prior to my coming on board, and he was able to get a Google Drive thing. So we've got that, and that had a tremendous amount of information on it, which has allowed us to get in and start from scratch, basically, but taking on the efforts that the previous committee did do for us, and it's fantastic. Unification, of course, added another challenge for myself, being both selecting both ladies and men teams, representative teams, and like when I was there, I don't know, I was chairman probably 15 years ago, might have been a little bit longer. We only had the guys to look after, and we basically just had one selection for the state side. There weren't even any seniors in those days. Now we have seniors and open and over 40s in both ladies and men and under 25s. The juniors have their own committee, so we don't need to worry about them, but we still like to keep our eye on them, and that's a challenge, getting them around. It was hard to, we wanted to include and be an inclusive selection panel with the 3 girls. We've got 3 girls on board and 5 guys. So I've been trying to get the girls out and about to some quadrangle zone series that have been played early in the year, so that they can see these bowlers, the men bowlers. If they're going to have an input, they need to be able to understand who we're talking about and what's going on in that regard. Likewise, unfortunately, the ladies don't have a interzone or inter-regional competitions, so we're sort of hamstrung on only seeing them in state championships and pennants, which is not ideal in my point of view for me to have an informed comment on their forms or whatever's going forward. We're going to have to rely on our 3 lady selectors who may be inexperienced, but they're very what do we call that? They're encouraging. They're doing everything they possibly can, taking it all on board, and so hopefully we'll get some good information from them. Otherwise, we need to go back to what was happening last year and sort of tidy it up from there. So those are the challenges. But having a good committee and a very proactive committee has helped me a lot. I'm snowed under every now and then at work, so I'm able to farm that out to them to get on board and get the information out for us. We've been working on the calendar, first of all, to get what we had to wait for the state calendar to come out and put pieces that we need to go to visit and look into it. And that took a little while, but it's now out and about and publicised on the internet for those that are wishing to have a look at it. The next challenge is having 8 selectors. So with 8 selectors, we have to now give them all equal opportunity to view both the men's and the ladies in competition mode. And I'm sure it'll be too expensive to send 8 to each event. So we have to come up with a roster of some description, which we worked on over the weekend. And we've come up with a reasonable plan. And just have to go for that. It depends on the finances and what we can and how many we're allowed to take and airfares and accommodation and things like that. Those that run in New South Wales and the metropolitan area, they're quite easy to cover for us because most of the selectors are from down in the metropolitan area, except for myself, who's up at Costa Tuncurry. I think our biggest achievement is still going, and also everyone's still being a real happy family, as you may call it. Myself, I don't know. I'm surviving. I think that's the main thing. I'm still working, so I'm happy to keep putting back something into Poles, New South Wales. So this was an opportunity for me to do something. We have several events coming up in May. We have the men's Interzone Sides Championships. That's an ideal time for the ladies, our 3 lady selectors, to see the teams compete over 3 days. Then we have the trials. Out of those, we pick trialling sides to trial for state positions after the Interzone. 16 of each squad. So we've got open, seniors, under 40, over 40s, and the under 25s in ladies and men. So they're what we're trying to do. It's always a challenge, that part of it. Then I suppose we've still got to go to the Interstate Sides Championships in Perth. It's another challenge. It's a challenge for all of us to go that far, maybe for 4 days and come back home again, and then another 4 of us go over for the next 4 days. But you know, that's what it is, and that's what we're planning to do. The positive outtakes of my position is that I've got a good committee. If it was a rough committee, I don't know how we would survive. But when you've got another 7 there willing to go out and about, it's fantastic, and I'm sure that's positive. Been great. Positive feedback I've got from bowlers and from people that when we go and visit, we've had. One of our selectors went to the rookies to see the rookies, to follow the rookies through their finals. And that was a great thing for the rookies. You know, he's a state selector, turning up to these matches. And that's what we plan to do in the over 40s and anything else that comes up that we're allowed to attend to.